So it's the start of a week now, and I thought that would be a really good opportunity to start a weekly vlog and to start a new YouTube channel that documents everything that I'm working on moving forward at the moment. It's on a Monday, on a day like today, I'm really just getting my bearings back. On the weekend, I was filming at a competition in Stockport. No, sorry, misspoke. I wasn't filming a competition in Stockport. I was filming at the weightlifting club. We are promoting a competition that's coming up in September. It is going to be the 10-year anniversary of the Stockport Spartans weightlifting club, and they are using the competition. They're having an event to celebrate that 10-year anniversary, to promote and talk about everything that the club's gone through for the last 10 years. And as someone who's been a part of a weightlifting club for 10 years and has seen a competition like that, an event like that, it's absolutely brilliant. And it's been something that I've been a big proponent of for quite some time, is communities and these places where we all get to go outside of our homes and outside of our work, and somewhere where we get to communicate and just to congregate and be with other people and to enrich our lives a little bit. And the sport that I'm a part of, weightlifting, is one of those rare sports where we actually have a place to do that place that's not home, that's not work, and we go there voluntarily, and we absolutely love it. And we go there every single day. We put ourselves through pain, which is weightlifting training, but we stick around. You know, we come, we turn up, we arrive at the clubs for the training, but we stick around for the community and the friendships and the memories that we make. So that's been something that I've been it's been close to my heart for quite some time. So to be able to be a part of that project is just fantastic. Over the last 4 weeks now, I have just been absolutely rammed with work. I have been away so much traveling, and I like home. I like my home comforts. I like spending time with my girlfriend. I like walking my dog. I like being around my weightlifting club. So the last 4 weeks have been tough, just all the traveling. But it's been great. I do like going to new places. I do love speaking to people. I've been to Stockport. I was in Sheffield on the weekend with the Commonwealth Games camp for the Welsh weightlifting team. I was in Ireland the weekend before that for their national championships. I was in Manchester for a competition the weekend before that. I can't even remember what I was doing before that. And it has meant on the content creation front that July has taken a bit of a hit. June and July have taken a hit. April and May were absolutely flying. I was nearly posting every single day. I was on like a good 50-day streak. And then work and business and traveling and all this client work I had to do hit, and it's just sort of gone down the pan. But it's okay. This week, I'm home. I have an opportunity to do something, which is a weekly vlog, and just to document everything that I'm doing right now. I'm really excited for the next few months, what I'm building and the new thing that I'm creating. And this whole channel, this whole series now is documenting that. I have a new mission. I have something that I really feel passionate about, and it's been something that I've thought about for some time. It's been a topic of conversation that I've really been interested in for some time, and it doesn't get talked about enough. And I feel like now I have the tools and I have the experience to really tackle it head on. So that's what this week's going to be about, as well as other things like training, my thoughts on the state of sport and creativity itself, and the state of the world, and all sorts of jazz. But mostly it's about building something new, being a weightlifter, talking about things that I'm passionate about, and, you know, just documenting that journey. So hopefully you enjoy, and let's see where it goes. I think when I was in my 20s, the main thing when it came to training was hitting a certain goal, was aiming towards something and putting all my effort into that something to sort of tick something off, whether that's a new PB, you know, a new total, qualifying event, chasing a singlet, you know, trying to get, you know, to an international standard, going to national events. That was like always the driving factor. And now in my mid-30s, as a masters lifter and someone who's been around the sport for quite a while now, it feels almost a little bit different. It feels almost existential in a way when it comes to training. I don't know what it is, but I feel like when you're in your 30s, more of life shit happens to you. I don't know, more of life shit happened to me when I was in my 30s. Maybe in my 20s I was just very lucky and everything was just, you know, I just went by in life and not having to worry about anything and having no real responsibilities. But But in my 30s, life hit me a bit hard, you know, and I think, you know, that happens for everyone, regardless of any age. Life hits you a bit harder, things happen to you, you lose someone, or you lose a couple of people now at this point. And then you just take in the state of the world as it is right now, and everything that normally seems so far away and doesn't really concern you and doesn't really bother you feels more closer, and the world, I don't know, feels more tight together, and everything affects one another. So for me now, training almost becomes an existential fight to not be a victim of whatever circumstance, you know, to be like, no matter what, I am going to train today. No matter what, I'm going to achieve this goal. That's why I've written on my weightlifting shoes that I want to hit 150 clean with 2 jerks. It's a big goal. It's hard work. It's not easy. My clean and jerk is 150. My maximum clean and jerk is 150. So to do it twice would be a big thing. And not easy by any stretch of the imagination. But if I do it, I know that I overcame everything else, and like nothing got in the way. Whether it's work, whether it's economics, whether it's businesses failing or starting up, whether it's life in general, anything, personal stuff, anything. None of that matters. I'm not going to let it stop me from doing this thing. So that's kind of where I'm at training right now. And for like the last 4 weeks, training has just been, like, without a doubt, suboptimal. It's just not been the best training environment. Working, traveling, I definitely haven't done a full week of training since May, I would say. There's always been something that's stopped it. But this week I'm at home, and this week I'm there for the week. I'm here for the week. I'm able to focus purely on training and work, and I'm really looking forward to it. So we still got 150 on the cards for the clean jerk. I hit the 140 clean jerk in May or early June, can't remember. We're definitely aiming, I think September. I think September is the goal. And just put as much effort into it as I can and just do the best I can. And when I do hit it, just to know that, like, I did it. And it's a good flex to have. I achieved it, I worked hard for it, and I'm capable. I think that's what it gets to now at this point, is just being capable. And knowing that you could do the hard thing. Like, life is tough. Life is difficult, so do the hard thing anyway. And that's kind of where I'm at right now with this. So, yeah. Because one, if you'd be like, £700 for something like this, and then you didn't know that they actually had a budget of 3k, you're like, fuck, I've left money on the table. And that's the worst thing to do. You really do, and what you want is for them to go, this is what we're willing to spend, and you take that. Because what you don't want to do is say what you guess is their price range. So and then it's a lot that was a coaching call that I just had with Chase Clark. She's one of my mentees, and we're helping her land her first ever brand deal as an athlete. Now, paid brand deals as athletes is something that every athlete who is creating content online and has a brand of their own should strive towards, and really should be the norm. And one of the things that we were talking about right now, which I think is really going to help her, is this mentality behind how we educate brands that we are the right people to put their marketing spend and their advertising money into when looking to work on a particular campaign. And one of the things we spoke about, and one of the things that I realized quite a while ago, is that when a brand wants to work on, let's say right here, they want to work on a campaign, and they have this objective and they have these goals. The traditional way to do things would cost them a hell of a lot of money. First, they have to come up with a content strategy, or they hire someone to come up with a content strategy. That's money they have to spend. Then they have to spend money on the videographers, people like me in the past, to create the content, to film it, to edit it, to color grade it, and to make the thing that they want. Then you need the talent. You need to film someone, and that could either be athletes again, like ourselves, or celebrities, or just models. You got to pay those people. Then there's the post-production, creating the whole thing, and that again takes time and takes money. And then there is the final part of it, which is the distribution of the content. Put it onto various social channels with all the right copy, with all the right tags. We don't really do tags anymore, but all of the correct stuff in order to make sure that that content does really well and reaches the people that they want to reach. And then there's the extra bit of, if you want to put that content through ad spend, through Facebook ads or Google ad spend, then that's money as well. That is a whole organizational nightmare. That's going to cost a lot of money. And what brands are switching on to now, and what is happening in every other industry, is that there are people out there like myself, like Chase, and like others, and especially in the sport world, athletes who have audiences, who have a sizable audience, of any size, that are ideal customer base, an ideal customer base for these brands. And these brands want to reach these people. And normally what they would do all of this, and they would put the money into ad spend, and they would have a spray and pray approach and just hope that that content and that campaign reached the people that they want to reach. Whereas now, those people are our followers. They're our Instagram followers, they're our YouTube subscribers. And what we can present to ourselves, so what we can present to the brands, I keep on misspeaking in these vlogs, I don't know how I'm doing it. What we do to these brands, what we say to these brands is, everyone that you have to hire is me in one person. I can come up with a content strategy. I can film the content myself. I can be the talent. I can produce, post-production in terms of color grading it and editing it to make it a good piece of content. And then I can distribute it exactly to the people that you want to distribute it to. There's almost a step later on that they have to skip because they don't have to spend that money on AdSense, on the distribution, making sure it gets to the right people. It's all there in one person. And the money saved doing it that way is so much more. Like, there is so much more money being saved by going through one person, one athlete or one individual alone who has all of the things that they want in order to achieve the goals of the campaign. So much more money than the traditional way of doing things. And that's something that's really helping Chase now, and it's something that's helped me in the past when I've been pitching brands and landing my own brand deals. And that is something that I'm really looking on working now in the future. I think in the next, let's say, month and a half, I'm going to be launching something that really helps athletes land paid brand deals, and helps athletes overall go from working full-time, because a lot of athletes work full-time jobs or working part-time, to being full-time athletes, to get paid to be athletes. So then the only thing that they have to focus on is being an athlete and focus it on their goals, whether that's going to European Championships, any international competition like a Worlds. Over here in the UK, for weightlifters now in my sport, the Commonwealth Games, which is happening tomorrow, or by the time you see this, it will be right in the middle of it, or the Olympic Games. To be able to focus purely on that and to get paid to be an athlete, and the only thing that you have to focus on, as well as the work required with doing brand deals and all the other stuff and the other ways you can earn money as an athlete online. But the main thing that you get to focus on, you don't have to spend 40 hours at a job and then travel and commute and then have to go training and squeezing in, and then you're getting back home at 8 p.m. at night and then you have to get all your dinner done. Doing it this way, being a full-time athlete and getting paid to be a full-time athlete, is probably the holy grail for most athletes. I know it's what I wanted when I was in my 20s, or I wish I had the opportunity to do it. So that's something we're working on now in the future, something that's going to be coming up. I'm going to be launching it privately within the next month or so, and then once it starts working, then a public launch within, I would say, probably November time. But that's just a little tease about what's in the future and what's to come. So yeah, that's it for today, for Wednesday, and look forward to what the rest of the week brings. Definitely more to come. There's nothing I love more than getting something in the post, because there's a moment for a second where you see your name on something and you're like, what's that? I don't remember ordering anything. And then you quickly remember that it's for a brand partnership. I think when it comes to brand deals, one of the most important things it comes to when looking for the brands that you want to work with is finding the brands whose values align with your own. And I think that's really important, because trust with an audience, whether that's subscribers or on YouTube or on Instagram or anything like that, trust with the audience is built up over the course of days, weeks, months, and years. But it can be broken like that. It can be broken in seconds. And if you start working with brands or advocating for things that aren't in alignment with what your audience values are, or what they, the reason that they're following you, then that audience is gonna start feeling a bit alienated, and they're gonna start feeling like you're a little bit of a sellout. And there's a fine line. There's a way to do this properly. You can get paid for brand deals and advocate things to your audience that are in alignment with your brand and what you advocate for. But you got to make sure at the end of the day you're not just selling things just to get paid. That's not the case with Joshua from Blast Weightlifting over in Ireland. Josh and I spoke last week on the phone about potential partnership, and one of the things that really spoke to me straight away was his sense of community within the weightlifting space. That is something that I've been advocating for and that I've been talking about on my Instagram page for quite a while now, because for me, more than anything else, I mean, obviously sport gives you fitness, it gives you mental health, it helps with all sorts of things. There's the physical benefits from it, but there's also, more than anything else, the social benefits. And I have felt, I think a lot of people feel like this for quite some time now, that within the UK especially, but I guess it's a case all around the world, the need for third spaces, a space that isn't your home and isn't your place of work, is higher more than ever. Like we've seen in my lifetime, in the very short time that I've been on this planet, I've seen libraries in my community gone. I've seen youth centres that I used to either be a part of when growing up or used to work at gone. Schools closed down and merged together to become these super schools. The need for like the investment in public areas has just dropped like that. So having a public space where you can congregate with other people who aren't your colleagues and aren't your family, you just get to speak to them, is massive, I feel. And in weightlifting, the sport of weightlifting, we are pretty special in having that, and I think I mentioned that earlier on in the week. With these weekly vlogs, I'm struggling to remember what I've spoken about each time. But that's something that Joshua really spoke about over there in Ireland. The Masters weightlifting community, the whole entire Weightlifting Ireland membership, that everyone feels part of the same thing. So when he started talking about that, and that being a big part of his brand, that spoke to me straight away. So when I start making content about this apparel company, and I start talking about those values, that is something that my audience is going to be okay with and they're going to align with, because I've already been making content like that. So that's it for the day. I would show you what's inside, but maybe you should wait for the collaborated content. And yeah, that's all for today. I think one of the biggest mistakes you can make when creating content is trying to make it perfect. If you try to make something perfect, you'll just never make anything, or you'll never post. Take this week, for example. I've been trying to make a weekly vlog. It's the first time I've ever done it. Never done a weekly vlog before, and it's by no means perfect. I think intuitively, looking back on the week, I'm guessing the vlog's going to be quite jumpy. I'm going to jump from day to day, and there's probably going to be a few days skipped. And I didn't film any B-roll, anything in between, no transitional period. You're gonna go for this vlog quite quickly. Minutes of me talking, and then jump on to the next day. So next time I do a vlog, I will try and film a lot more. It's easy when you're training because you have multiple exercises, multiple sets per exercise, so you can get one shot per set. So you end up with nearly 30 plus shots by the end of it. So that's a ton of B-roll. But when it comes to your day-to-day, I've never done that stuff before, so I'll learn for next time. But one of the things I've definitely learned from doing the weekly vlog is that next week when I create content for Instagram, I'm going to have a fuck ton of B-roll for my content, which is great. It's something I stole from this whole idea. I stole from Bennett Looper, and he is like the GOAT when it comes to filming content for fitness influencers and creators and all those sort of people I like. I think that is the reason why I went down this route, to try a weekly vlog. And if you're struggling with content, film a weekly vlog, because on Monday when I sit down, I'm going to film maybe 3 talking headshots for Instagram Reels, and then I'll do 3 video carousels, or maybe 2 video carousels, and then throw a post in there to make it all up at the end, which will give me 6 or 7 pieces of content. A lot of that footage is going to come from this week, from the stuff I filmed throughout the day. It's an absolute cheat code. Stuff filmed from this session, stuff filmed at home, going about doing work and whatnot. And next week, when I try to improve it and film more stuff at home and film more in between the sort of day-to-day stuff, then I'll have even more footage. So that's the one piece of advice I would give to content creators. And that's how I'm going to wrap up this vlog. It's Saturday now. I knew my last session would be on a Saturday, so it's nice and quiet in the gym. I'm just going to focus on my clean front squat jerks now. And that'll be it. Next week, there'll be very much a shorter vlog, because I'm away on holiday next week with my girlfriend and her family. And I like to at least set some boundaries between public life and stuff I put up online and my private life. And that's definitely private, spending time with family and going on a holiday. I don't want to be taking my camera and trying to film stuff. So I'll film a short vlog on the Monday and Tuesday and have that posted then the week after. I already know what it's going to be about. But yeah, hope you've enjoyed this vlog. And with all that being said, see you in the next one.